Nail or beauty school was just the beginning, right? What on earth do you do now? Welcome to the Salon Success Podcast with Monaco Nail Academy. Our topics stretch beyond nails and into all things salon related, business, marketing, and social media, and at the very least hits you with real, honest stories about our experiences. This isn't school, this is real life, real business, and really freaking hard work. Before we get started, wherever you are, thumbs up, tag a friend in the comments, or hit that share button and support small business.
Hi guys, it's Mel from Monaco Nail Academy, and today I'm joined by everyone.
Whoop whoop.
Pat's here.
Hi.
Jade's here.
Hi.
Who's just sticking with us?
Hello.
And Trudi's joined us. Yay!
Morning.
And Penny's here too, of course.
Hello.
And today is our second episode of Book Club. How exciting.
And just a reminder before we get started to use my code Beauty by Jade for 10% off all courses. That's Jade, Jayde. I get a kickback from these enrollments, and they're how we support the production of the podcast.
Perfect. Moose always has one. Moose's is Moo Cat Nails.
No Moo Cat, no nails.
Oh, Moo Cat for Moose. Pat.
Mine is Patsative, like positive, but with Pat.
Mine is Jungle Nails, and Trudi, I don't think you have one, do you?
Najee.
Najee. Oh, good. Okay, so before we start this week, what were we talking about last week? Moose, fill us in what we did last episode.
Last episode we were talking about urgency, scarcity, and exclusivity. So marketing strategies that you can use to get clients.
Yeah, nice. And listen to Mal get confused about which is which again, like I always do.
But it was good. We had a lot of tangible, actionable shit that you can do today in your salon.
I was looking for a pen, during the episode, being like, I need to take notes. And then I couldn't find a pen, so I guess I just have to re-listen. So everyone should do that and take notes. Find a pen.
Put your notes in the comments of the episode, Pat. I dare you.
But I have to rewatch it first, re-listen. Yeah, I'll do that first. Okay.
Imagine if people could see us. Wow.
No one's allowed to see us because we're half in pajamas, except for the people who think they're better than us.
Not looking at anyone in particular.
Right. Look.
If it helps, I'm literally half in pajamas because I'm showered and dressed and have makeup on and did my hair and then put my dressing gown on top.
Yeah, I got out of bed and got back into my bed. I am still in my pajamas.
I support it.
And that's the way it's be, so don't expect anything else. Right, let's get on to it. So, we had homework from last book club episode. Penny and I were going to read the first episode of Akatar, and Pat was going to read Fourth Wing, right?
Yes.
I did my homework.
I partly did my homework.
Look, let's be honest, that's probably more than you thought you were going to do, Pat.
Yeah, I'm 72% of the way through the audiobook. And yeah, I was gasping. I was like, oh, what? That just happened. Whoa. And yeah. And you would think I would continue reading because it got to the spicy part. But then I felt awkward because I was listening to the spicy part while my husband was doing something in the corner and it was on speaker mode. And I was like, well, he might feel awkward about listening to this, so I'm going to pause it. And then I forgot it existed, so there we are.
Funny. And Moose, have you read many books lately? You were saying earlier that you're not really a reader. I wonder if this will convert you.
I haven't read that much recently, but if I see people enjoying it, then I might give it a go again.
Moose is just here for the hangs.
It's true.
You'll definitely get dragged in. You will. I know Jade's a reader and Trudy's a big reader as well. So, this is going to be a fun one.
What's a book everyone's read recently?
A lot.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Tell us.
I listened to Akatar, the first one, because that was my homework. But I was so scared, like I said last book club, I hadn't read it, even though I love reading. I read a lot, and everyone is raving about it because everyone told me the first book's a hard slog. So then I just didn't do it until it was homework. And then I audiobooked it, which I've only done a couple times before. I'm not usually a big audiobook person, but that's how I got over the hump, was by listening to it while doing the dishes and stuff like that. And then I got super into it. I really liked it. But then I didn't read again until now because I was really worried, because my brain is kind of like it erases the last thing to make room for the next thing. And I was like, wait, I have to talk about this book on the podcast, so I can't read anything else or I'll forget what happened.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it though, Penny? Because I was a bit like apprehensive as well, because everyone was like, "Oh, I didn't really like it," or it was really hard to get through. And so I also listened to it. After I paid to download it onto my Kindle, I listened to it on YouTube for free. So yeah.
I listened to it on Spotify for free. However, not for free, because I have the premium membership, whatever, like $18 a month or whatever it is. But then it ran out of listening hours. Like, I think you get
that's the worst.
I don't know how many hours it is that you get a month, but I had to buy a block of listening hours. But they don't expire, so they'll just stay there. But yeah, I had to do that. But your question, did I like it? I did. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to, because I'm not really, I don't know, when I get into a fantasy book, I tend to really enjoy it, but it takes a minute for me to get around all of like the fairies and shit. But I really liked it. After, I think the first few chapters, it was a little bit like, I needed to be doing the housework at the same time. I could not have read through those first few. But then the second half of the book, I was like, I want to keep listening. When can I listen again?
Yeah, I really liked it too. I've already actually downloaded book number 2 and started reading book number 2.
Whoa.
I only did the audio thing because I also have never done an audiobook, but because I knew I was on a time crunch, I was like, I need to just get this done, because I'm quite a slow reader. I don't get much time to read, like actually stop and read. So I was like, if I can do it, like you said, while I'm cleaning or crocheting or whatever, or at the gym, then it will work. But yeah, I really liked it. And yeah, I'm up to like chapter 7 of book number 2 now. So
what a cheater.
like it.
Yay!
I read ahead.
I love the second book.
You loved it. Yeah, and Trudi was telling me it gets better. So I was like, cool. I actually really liked the first one.
Yeah, book 2's my fave. Like, genuinely my fave.
Me too.
I'm excited for it. I just knew I couldn't start it or I would get them confused.
That's fair.
Keep reading it though, Penny. Will you read the rest of the series, do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I want to collect them because I have them. I don't Kindle. I have them on paper. But so what I'll probably do is just keep an eye out for them at the op shop and stuff like that. I did buy that first one when we finished the last episode. I was like, here's a legitimate work expense because it's for the podcast. But then I never opened it because I got scared of it, so I started it on audiobook. I think I will start book 2 on audiobook just because I don't want to be spending too much money on books right now. So I'll more likely just watch out for them in the secondhand book shop, collect them, but maybe listen to it on audio.
Collect them and put them in the correct order.
They have to. That's the problem with audio, is like, at least because I had the paper version. So for those of you who didn't listen last episode, all of the books I've read for the last 4 years are in order. And because I started it, I can't not. They're in order on the shelf. So I was glad that I had business expensed the paper copy, because at least it's on the shelf.
Yeah. And Jade and Trudi, have you guys read the whole series?
Yeah, I've got the whole series. I got hooked. So my mum had brought the first and second book. She read the first one. She kind of enjoyed it. The second one, she threw it across the room. She went, can't do it. So
Interesting, though.
yeah, second book, which is one of my favorites. So I read the first one. I was like, oh my God, I need to read the second one. So read the second one and went, Happy Mother's Day, went and brought the series for myself. And just binged it, and yeah, I've completely finished it now. So yeah, I just read the paper book. I didn't do Kindle or audio for it. But on the audio note, I am part of a book club. I have to read a book, and I downloaded Audible, and they have, if you join up, you get 1 month free, and you can download one book, and you don't have to pay anything. So that's what I've done for my book club book, which is, like you say, bit of a slog trying to get through it. So I've been doing the same, listening to it driving to work or like washing the dishes and stuff, because...
What's your book club book?
The Duchess by Danielle Steele.
Ah, okay. I haven't heard of that title, but obviously most people know Danielle Steele.
Yeah, she's like a really, like bestseller and stuff, but it's
it's a bit hard, and I'm on a time crunch as well. So I've got to like get it read by next weekend. So, yay.
I can't do real book clubs. It's too much like homework, and then I just don't want to do it. Like, this rebellious streak happens in my brain where I'm like, it's no longer fun because I have to.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the first one, so this is our second one next week, you do notes. So I was like, what? This is homework. I've already got homework. I'm studying. I don't want more. So
I love the idea of book club, but I don't think I can. No, I won't cope. I love reading for pleasure on my own, but no, that's stressful.
and we're giving it a go. So Mum and I both have joined. So we're giving it a go and just seeing how it is. But I suppose the good thing is that it's broadening our reading tastes, our genres. We're not sticking to the same genre. But also, yuck, because people pick books that you don't want to read. So I'm like, do I have to read it? But yeah, I kind of do. I mean, to be fair, they're not real strict. So if you only get halfway through, you only get halfway through. Like, it is what it is.
What are they going to do? Kick you out of book
I
club?
know. Like, oh, you can't come now.
Actually, I'm already part of a book club, and it's way cooler than yours. So
There was someone started a book club here in town a couple of years ago, and then I was like, that sounds like a great idea, and they said what the book was, and I bought the book, and then I didn't read the book because it didn't sound interesting to me, same as like kind of you, Trudi, like broadening your, like, I wouldn't have chosen it. I'll probably like it. It's, I don't know, but guess who then didn't read it because I couldn't, I executive dysfunctioned the shit out of that homework, and then I just never went, and then you know who's never ever been? Me.
and probably
But I still have the book. It's still sitting in the pile of like to be reads.
To be reads.
I do not have a to be read pile. Throwing back to last episode, Penny, can we reach out to Audible and see if they'll sponsor each of us a membership?
Yes,
Oh,
we
I
can.
like that.
I will add it on my list right now.
And let's see what they say. That would be great.
They're probably going to be like, what's your listenership? Oh, no thanks.
Yeah.
How do you guys cope with like listening to audiobooks so obviously the book I'm reading or listening to rather, it's like this old English guy, and it's like cracking me up. I was talking to my boss about it yesterday, who's actually like this old like white guy, and I was like, he's trying to like impersonate being like an 18-year-old girl, and I was like, no, my friend, like, this is really weird. And so all the different characters, how they, like if it's a one person like reading it, it's like I have to just kind of go look past it, like, because he's like trying to be like this French woman, and then he's like, yeah, oh my goodness.
I can't do it. I've tried before, and I've started and failed with audiobooks a few times before because of that reason. This Akatar was the first one I got through that wasn't someone's biography. So the only audiobooks I've got the whole way through before were audiobooks that were narrated by the person. So it wasn't characters, and that because they were telling stories, like they didn't have to do a character. Yeah, no, I can't. And actually, a couple of my friends were talking in a chat yesterday about something similar where this book that they've both read, the chapters alternate the first person narrator, like the girl and then the boy, and then the next chapter's the girl and the next chapter's the boy. But so the girl chapters have a girl narrator, the boy chapters have a boy narrator, but the girl narrator will do the voices for the girl and the boy during that chapter, and then the boy narrator does the voices for the girl and the boy in his chapter, and they were like, it was very close to a DNF for both of them.
That sounds like it would hurt my brain. I'd be
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
Yeah, same. That would confuse me. The one I listened to on YouTube, it was all right. It was just a lady reading. But I took a few times to settle on that one because some of them were really bot sounding, and it was just really boring and hard to listen to. But I think, yeah, I definitely want to go back to actually reading. So, yeah, it's interesting though. Everyone's kind of a mix, like books, Kindle, audio, whatever suits, I guess. What's your go-to, Jade?
So I read the first 3 on paper, but I took this is really embarrassing, but I took probably like 6-7 months to get through the first 3 because like life got busy, and just finding the time, and like my brain, like trying to get my brain to pick up the book and get stuck into it, I just don't, too hard, like I can't be bothered. So when I managed to get through the 3rd book at New Year, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go buy myself a Kindle, and then maybe my brain might, I don't know, find, because it's kind of like I call it a healthy device. It's kind of like a device that you can pick up and like, it's like scrolling on your phone, but it's healthy for you and you're reading and doing what you love. So I'm finding that a lot more easier to like pick up, especially like if I'm in bed and I can't sleep. Like I don't have to turn the light on. I can just pick up my Kindle. I take it with me like in the car or like in my handbag to appointments. So if I'm like early, I can just whip it out, and it's a bit more what's the word, like subtle than just like pulling out like a full book. So I'm really liking the Kindle. I definitely am getting through the 4th book and the 5th book quicker than I was the first 3. So I don't know, I really like it, but I do want to try the audiobook just to have on when I'm doing things. You know, I feel like I get through it a lot quicker. So I need to give it a go and give you guys some feedback.
Hey guys, Penny from the future here. Are you ready to take your salon to the next level? The Client Magnet is a free 5-day online coaching program by Monaco Nail Academy designed to help you attract and retain clients. With our comprehensive program, you'll learn proven techniques to grow your client base and keep your schedule packed. From expert marketing strategies to client retention secrets, we've got everything you need. Transform your salon and achieve the success you've always dreamed of. Join the Client Magnet today and start making your salon the go-to spot in town. Head to www.monaco.ac.nz/magnet.
What I love about audiobooks, especially if you're reading a fantasy series, is that chances are they're pronouncing it, the words, like the places and the names, the way the author probably intended it. Because I'm sure the author would have told them it's said like this. So you think you're reading it the right way when you're reading it, like in your mind. And then when you go to listen to the audiobook version, you're like, oh, that's how you're supposed to say it. And I just like that reassurance that now I know how I'm supposed to say the thing.
Exactly.
That's so right. And with this Akatar one, the rescind guy, I would have said it like not that way.
I send, and then everyone was like, no, it's resend. And I was like, is it? That's not how I read it.
Like, because like, how would you know until someone says it to you? And then you're like, oh, okay, that's the official way. Fine.
What's really interesting with that is I had seen Akatar stuff in reels and like just in general, I guess, pop culture. So I knew what the characters' names were, but then I only listened in audiobook, and it was like halfway through the book that I was like, wait, which character is this? And had to go back and like see the visual of how the name was spelt and been like, oh, it's been the main character the whole time. Like, because I just took the story on, like, got it, great, but it wasn't reconciling with the reels that I had seen because I hadn't like put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, cool. I love that everyone's different. I love my Kindle too. I'm Kindle diehard. Everyone is. Oh no.
What about Moose? Did we ask Moose?
Moose isn't. Are you going to read now? Do you think, Moose? Are we dragging you into the Akatar series?
It's kind of like reminding me of when I have enjoyed reading in the past. But when I have read, I usually do prefer audiobook as well. But I use the Libby app, which is like through the library. You can like check out audiobooks through that. I'm not sure if it's only for Auckland libraries though, but it is free for people who can access it. But I found that really helpful. And also, I guess like just remembering that if you have previously preferred audiobooks and then you want to kind of move into like reading physical books, you can do both at the same time. You can listen and read.
I love doing that. It's my fave. So it's so fun if you have the physical book or the version on your Kindle, and then at the same time you've borrowed the book from the library or like you have it on Audible. And I think if you buy the book on Kindle and also get it on Audible, they will sync up. Like it will just happily sync up for you. So if you're just reading the Kindle version, it will sync up to the audio version later. So it's smart like that. So it's just so like it forces you to focus, which is why I guess when I'm listening to audiobooks, I have to be doing something with my hands. Otherwise, I'm not paying attention. But like if you're listening and reading at the same time, then you're like, I am locked in. I'm focused on this one book.
That is out the gate to me. Like the type of spicy brain I have, that no.
I agree.
I agree. I was thinking, oh no, how can you?
That is breaking my brain. Like, no, I mean, first of all, I can't read two things at once, so this is kind of irrelevant, but like I can imagine that I could have one thing on audiobook and one thing on paper, but if I've started you on paper, you belong on paper. That is where you live and that is where you will be. And then if I start you on audiobook, that's where you live. You're an audiobook. There's what? Switching between the two? No.
I often, like, I'll switch.
No. You are out of control.
Also, like, you know how you said, like, if you're listening, you have to be doing things. So, like, obviously, I'm listening to this audiobook, like, whatever. And I'm struggling, like, I will start doing something, whatever it is. And if it's vaguely interesting, aka doom scrolling, and I see something, I will switch off the book, like in my head. So it's playing.
100%.
And I'm like, oh, shoot, what just happened? So I have to stop what I'm doing and then sit for a minute and then go and do my little notes, because I'm doing notes every chapter so that I've got something to talk about. Otherwise, I will sit at book club and they'll be talking and I'll go, because like Penny, as soon as I finish that book, I put it down and I walk away. I've completely forgotten what it was. I sometimes don't even remember what the character's name was or what they look like. So, yeah.
But Trudi, you literally said you listen to audiobooks while driving. So that's you doing something with your hands.
Yeah, but
driving is autopilot. That's different.
yeah, so I do the same drive like every week, and because I work in 2 different clinics, so I don't have to think. I just drive and I just
When
listen.
I say I'm doing things with my hands, it's the autopilot stuff. Like if I'm doing the dishes, then I can listen to an audiobook. If I'm like walking, I can listen to an audiobook. But I'm not gonna try and listen to an audiobook while like listening to music, because that's two competing things. So it has to be stuff that like occupies my hands enough that I can't then do something else that will distract me. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
to help me focus. Or like doodling. Like, you know how if you're in a lecture theater or something and there like someone's talking, you doodle so that you pay attention. So it's the same thing.
This is reinforcing how compartmentalized my brain is, because I know I'm not good at task switching, and I know I already know that about myself. But the other interesting thing was how Jade said that it was like a healthy device. So like it like filled a gap for her. That's why I can't Kindle, because if I read on a Kindle, then it tells my brain that I can just scroll on something else. Like it makes me use my unhealthy devices more, because I'm getting used to having a device in my hand. Like, because if I read for like 3 hours or something, that's 3 hours of a device. And now I'm going to put my book down, do something, and immediately want to like pick something up to scroll. So like I have to read on paper, because like I'm pretty bad at the moment, but I try really hard not to have devices because I'll default to it. And interesting that for you it's a healthy device, because for me it is an unhealthy device.
Yeah, that's interesting. I can definitely see your point of view with it, though. I never thought of it that way. It's just interesting how like everyone's brains are like different, like with how they like interpret things. Like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I live for my Kindle being a healthy device. Like it sits in and like it's the perfect size to fit in my bum bag. So I can like walk around and like it's just a bum bag. I'm hands free. I can go wander off and do silly shit. But then like I feel like reading, and then unzip, unzip and Kindle, not unzip and do something else.
Yeah, I'm the same as you, Jade. I see my Kindle as like, right, I'm putting all my devices down and then I pick up my Kindle. Because to me, it's not a device, because there's no messages coming through. There's no emails. There's no like activity to the outside world. It's just me and my Kindle. And most of the time I do read, it's either at night in the dark, or like you said, when I'm waiting for my kids to come out of rugby practice or whatever. I always have it with me. Like, everywhere I go, I take it. On the plane, at Summit, I had it. Like, it's literally sitting right here beside me. Like, it's always near me, my Kindle. Where a book, I wouldn't take a book with me on a plane, or because I'd be like, oh no, it's going to get ruined or whatever. With a Kindle, it's just, chuck it in and it's there.
I loved reading my Kindle in the bathtub, which is probably unhinged, but I love it. And Kindles are meant to be waterproof, so I just YOLO, we'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll see if it breaks or not. But yeah, so far it's been fine. I read in the bathtub. It's great.
Hashtag sponsor us, Kindle. Oh my God. Imagine if Kindle sent us like 6 Kindles.
I would probably cry of happiness. Imagine a color soft.
You guys are so unhinged.
I downloaded the Kindle app on my phone. So if I, because my son's actually using my Kindle at the moment, reading his series, Warrior Cats. So I've like, okay, you can, use mum's Kindle because he was bugging me. So I've got like the app on my phone, which is probably like even worse because it's like my device. So I get notifications and stuff. But I don't know, I can kind of just switch. But I do prefer having my book like proper versus a Kindle. So I use a Kindle for books that I don't want to buy and like have on my my trophy shelf. Otherwise, yeah, ones I want to keep, then I will actually buy like the hard copy, or you know what I mean.
Oh, so is that like for things you want to refer to again? Like when you buy the book? Or is it
I do my trophies. Why would I not have them? Because I like them. They're my
That
trophies.
doesn't understand trophies. It's like when you really loved a book, so you want to own it forever.
Yeah, I have them there, and it's killing me because I love Quicksilver and mum has it, and I'm like, but it's dumb. Like, mum's got it, and I'm going to get that one day. So I don't need to buy my own, but I really want one because it's a really, really pretty book, especially if it's a really, really pretty book as well. Like, because I got asked, why do you like get, these books? I was like, because I like them. And then my trophies, like, I did that. I read that.
It was probably me that was like, but why? Like, I don't even have a bookshelf. To me, it's like, I'm going to read it again. What's the point of having the actual book cluttering up my bookshelf? Which I don't even have a bookshelf, so.
Because when you read a real good book, you have a relationship with it. So that's like being like, I already petted this dog. Off you go, dog. No, dog,
Yeah,
you
you
will
stay.
be mine forever now.
I wish I could keep all the dogs.
I've seen people like actually have like little cottages, like almost like a library type thing in their backyard, and you just go on it, and it's just like all these like just books and like cozy little like chair, and oh my god, that's my dream. I'd love to have a full on like cabiny cottage thing with all of my books.
And he's like, mm-hmm.
So on that note, does that mean people also want when I was a little kid, I really wanted one of those ladders. You know, in Beauty
Yeah.
and the Beast, where Belle would go on the ladder and she would just swish through the library. And I was like,
Yes.
please, one day
Yeah.
let me have the money for that kind of library. I want the ladder.
Or a
I got one priced up for the room that I'm in right now, and the only reason I didn't get it was because the angle that it had to be at, like, it would have made the room suck.
Okay.
But can we enter spoiler territory? So, anyone who's listening who hasn't read the first Akatao book, you've been warned. Okay, it's just Beauty and the Beast for adults.
Oh, is it? I don't think that's a spoiler. That sounds like a read this now. Like now I want to read it.
No, because if you read the back of the book, it does not sound like Beauty and the Beast for adults. And then as I started listening to it, like they would come to a new plot point and I'd be like, well, that's just Beauty and the Beast. Come to another plot. Well, that's just Beauty and the Beast. And then I was explaining it to one of my clients who loves spoilers, and we talk about books a lot, but like we're both more motivated to read something if we tell each other the whole thing. So I was telling her about it, and she's like, oh, yeah, well, that part's Twilight. And then I'd tell her another bit, and she's like, well, there's Hunger Games. And, like, it's literally, I haven't seen all of the reels and stuff like that came up on my algorithm were before I read it. So they got swiped past because they meant nothing to me. And I haven't seen the, like, overall, like, book talk kind of reaction to this book. I know nothing about what is said out in the world about it. But to me, the reason it's so popular is because it is every other popular fantasy book amalgamated with a heavy undertone of Beauty and the Beast.
But then, like, when you read the rest of the series, you're like,
Well, but then I would say, like, because this is not a criticism either, like, for, like, the Pats of the world that are like, I didn't read Twilight or Hunger Games or 50 Shades or anything that's ever been popular ever because I don't like reading things that are popular. I'm the opposite. I'm like, if it's popular, that tells me I'm going to love it, so I'm going to invest my time into it. So this isn't a criticism. I'm like, okay, cool, this author is clever because they've taken inspiration from every other popular thing and turned it into one book, and now they're rich. And then sure, take it and build on it and go into book 2 and book 75 million with totally different ideas. But like, it is just Beauty and the Beast with pieces of all the other things.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I suppose
hooked
so.
onto it. I was just like, oh, I like this.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's this quote that says something like, there's nothing new under the sun. So, like, in writing, everyone is just riffing off each other and, like, recombining things. So, like, we've been telling essentially the same stories for millennia. And that's, like, totally valid. And I see your point, Penny, that's not a criticism. In fact, we like listening or reading to what's familiar to us, you know, which is why I guess people keep making sequels, because then it's like, it's the same thing again, but more.
Live versions.
Yeah, and live versions like that we don't need. Like, who needed
Yeah.
Lion King live version? What?
But if you like Beauty and the Beast, you'll love Akatar. Because, like, literally to the point that you've got the poor girl who likes her nana habits and, like, is a little bit badass and then literally follows a beast into a crazy castle with a magic table full of magic food and, like, magical servants. And then turns out the beast is freaking hot. Crazy. Who's thought of that before? Oh, Walt Disney. Like, I want to find the library. Okay, let me take you down. Like, literally, it is Beauty and the Beast with a little bit of Hunger Games and Twilight added in.
Sidebar opinion. Prince Adam, when he was the beast, do you think he was hotter as the beast or when he turned into a human being?
Beast.
I want to hear if anyone thinks he's hotter as the person with no beard and stuff. Like, you know, like, who is this twink? Okay, no, he was a bit beefy. But still, like, I reckon the beast version was way hotter than him as a person. Like, you could, like, if you look at Belle's face when she sees him, she's like, oh, like, I preferred you as the beast. That's what her face says to me.
She's the Brittany Broski meme.
Sorry for the tangent.
Accurate though, but then also no one should be surprised because like if you look at a photo of Josh, then you can automatically know whether I would prefer Prince Adam or the Beast. Because Prince Adam is just a Calvin Klein model. Like, yuck, that is not my type.
But with long hair.
Yeah, but it's like wavy. Like you can tell he spends a lot of money on conditioner.
Everybody wants their fantasy hero to be a little bit feral and protect them with their life. That's why everyone fell in love with Rip on Yellowstone, because he murdered people for Beth. He did not give a shit. You did not mess with his wife. Everyone wants that peace.
What is Yellowstone? I'm like, what's that?
What?
At jail.
What is it?
Have you watched it, Penny?
A horse dies in the first 30 seconds. I was like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah, it does. But you know what? Rip makes it worth it. You guys need to watch.
What is it? Is this a movie? A TV show?
It's a TV show, Pat.
Oh, I don't watch TV. It sounds a bit, I'm not like other girls. I know. But is it like, I don't have Netflix if it's on there.
Yeah, I don't actually know where you can watch it at the moment, but it was like a big ass series. But Rip is the main character, and well, one of the main characters, and he just protects his like wife. Eventually, they become married, but he protects her with like his whole being. Like he murders people and just does anything.
Oh, the touch her and you'll die trope. We love that.
That's such a thing on like not book talk, but like all of the memes and stuff that come up in the smut algorithm are like, I want my book husband to be like all badass like that, but then if my real husband murdered someone, I'd be like, you are disgusting. But then I'm like having dreams about this guy who murdered someone for me.
I don't know. It depends on the context. Like, if my husband killed someone, like, it would have to depend on why. Like, if he killed someone to protect me, that's hot. If he killed someone like the mushroom lady, that's not hot. That's psychotic.
I don't know what the mushroom lady is, but the second you said that, it just put the muffin man in my head.
The mushroom lady, the mushroom. No, it doesn't work.
Okay, but I think on no planet would it be hot if Josh murdered someone for me, because I know that if he like, okay, I have this is not Josh specific. This is like specific to people I like, my attraction to humans, right? If someone were to get so frustrated that they punch a wall, I think that's so unattractive because you didn't have control of yourself in that moment. Like, you got yourself so wound up that you had to release that energy. And if someone murdered someone, unless it's a case of like that person is murdering me and you like pulled them off and accidentally like, or the only way to stop them was to murder them. But like, if you like murdered them to protect me and I wasn't at risk of dying, You just lost control, and now that's unattractive. Like,
Oh
sort
yeah,
yourself
that's
out.
not hot. But if like someone had a gun to my head and then my husband like somehow heroically managed to take them down and then killed them in the process, boom, panties off, let's go. Over the dead body? No, maybe not. That's too much. That's in a book I read though.
This is the pretense of rip. Like every time, like there's one massive scene. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. I mean, who hasn't?
You already said they got married, so we're way past spoiler territory.
Well, when he does stuff like this, like there's one scene where she's been like kidnapped by like 3 men and they're beating her up, raping her, doing all that stuff, and he like bursts through this glass door and like pow pow pow, like shoots all these people and beats them up and then just grabs her. And yeah, it's always to protect like Beth. It's never just like, oh, I don't like you, kapow, like you're gone. Like it's always in a protective.
Okay,
But then when they're together, like this soft, sweet, loving man.
I feel like he could have been a protector in advance, maybe, because if she keeps finding herself in these murderous, rapey situations, maybe he should have just put a bit of lock on the door.
But when you see it, when you watch it, you'll understand why he has to, because Beth is like out the gate.
Beth is out the gate.
Yeah.
What's she doing? Just getting herself in these situations.
Yeah, she's out the gate. Like I guarantee you've seen the reel of when a lady goes up to Rip and says, "Oh, where's your wife?" And he says, "Over there staring at you." And the lady goes, "Oh, don't worry about it." Walks over and Beth smashes her with a beer bottle in the club. Like,
She's a badass.
don't approach
She
me.
sounds toxic as. What the heck?
She's amazing. She's so good. Anyway, it's not a book, so let's get back on track.
Hey guys, Future Penny here again. Just a super quick interruption to let you know that if you head to monaco.ac.nz/subscribe, not only can you sign up to our weekly newsletter, but you'll also get a free video lesson from our course, The Art of Pigments. That's monaco.ac.nz/subscribe.
Right, ACOTAR. Let's finish with ACOTAR. Pat, how did you find Fourth Wing? So moving on to Fourth Wing, the series. Fourth Wing is the #1 book.
Which, Moose, if you're going to get back into reading, fuck ACOTAR, go Fourth Wing.
Yeah, start Fourth Wing.
I admit, when I first started reading it, listening to it, it was on the way to Summit. So I was like listening, and then I was like, I don't really get like why this is, and then like I think about 30 minutes, and I was like, ooh, okay, someone's dead already. Like how interesting. Because apparently I need people to die for the book to be interesting. Maybe. Anyway, so I found it really compelling. And like I was like, "Ooh, is this gonna be a love triangle? Maybe not really." Am I allowed to do spoilers? I think we're allowed.
We did a spoiler warning.
Yeah, we did a spoiler warning. Like I really like the dragons. The dragons are cool. Like I said, I'm only 72% of the way, but I remember like when I was listening to it the first bit and I made it to Summit, I sat in the car for a few minutes first. And I think Moose, you saw me just sitting in the car. And that was partly because I was like, I don't want to like stop listening to my book, but I also need to go to Summit. And then another time I was listening to the book and I was walking around the Auckland CBD and I literally was like, like I gasped in public because I was like, oh my God, is this actually happening? And this was when the dragon, like the biggest, baddest dragon, chose her. And I was like, what the hell is happening? And then, yeah, I like gasped out loud in public and nobody looked, thankfully. Like everyone's kind of weird in the Auckland CBD, so it was fine. Everyone's kind of feral there.
I cried so many times in the first 2 books.
Whenever I hear like Pat, someone in Pat and Moose who haven't, you've read it, AJ?
No, not yet. But after ACOTAR, I'm going to read it.
Okay, well, you've had your spoiler warning.
I get so excited when I talk to people that haven't read it because I'm like, oh, girl, just wait. Like, oh, my God, there's so much good stuff. And then I can't wait to hear them go, oh, my God. And I'm like,
Yeah, when Pat first messaged, I don't know which chat it was into, but when she was like, oh, my God, the dragons. And I was just like, which one?
And then I remember one of our friends was like, she's like, another one has been captured by the dragon kind or something. Like, yeah, you're obsessed now. Yeah. I have to admit though that like they're in the spicy scene, but like I was getting kind of put off because the main character was having a lot of like she was like stressing out about having killed someone, and I was like, "Oh my God, stop whining. Like you had to kill him. Just get over it. Just like it's fine." And then I was thinking about it and I was like, maybe she's having a very realistic reaction and I just have a lot of issues and a lot of anger.
That's so interesting because I never thought Violet was whiny.
Really? I found
Yeah.
her whiny for so long because I was like, just like shut up. Like, what's with all these reservations? You're in like a murder place. Like, you just get with the program. And then yeah, I probably do have morality issues.
I think we've learned that in the Hunger Games you would win against me.
That's interesting. I never thought she was whiny, but I was like, hurry up. Like when their relationship, I'm like,
Yeah, Violet kind of annoys me. So I'm like the second book was a struggle, hard struggle.
Shut the front door. I just annihilated the second book.
I haven't even really started the third. I've got it on my Apple Books and I'm struggling.
oh, I'm the same. I mowed through all those books.
See, that was maybe like with Akatare, I like finished all them, but then I'm like, oh, I've got that, what is it? Onyx Flame, whatever it is. Is that it? No, Iron Flame. Oh, Onyx Storm. See, I can't even get the name right. I've got that one sitting there, and I was like, oh, I need to read that, and I keep forgetting because it's in my Apple Books, not on my Kindle.
Why is it on your Apple Book? Like, why is it different? Why is it in a different place?
Because I like to live dangerously. No, because it was cheaper. It was cheaper on Apple Books, so I was like, I'll buy it there because I was like, because I had like the peer pressure of buy it. And then I keep forgetting because it's like hidden there.
I'd rather never read again than have half a series on a different thing.
I don't have that I don't have the proper copy of that though, so I only read it on Kindle, and then I brought the third one on Apple Books, so I don't actually own it.
It doesn't deserve to be on paper.
Whoa, which one doesn't deserve to be on paper?
The third one, Onyx Storm. And also, so I'm such a slow reader, and I mowed through book 1 and 2. So like I'm diehard Fourth Wing fan. Like Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Obsessed.
Wait, so are you setting me up for disappointment? The fact that I'm reading Fourth Wing because I'm gonna get to the third one and I'll be sad. Like, no.
Yes, but we've told you that in Snapchat. Me and Nat and Jess have all told you that the first 2 books are great, and just ignore the third.
Just pretend it doesn't exist. Okay.
You have to read the third because then you need, like, I'm still committed to 4th and 5th when they come out, but Nat, the whole series is dead to her. She's over it.
Oh.
Nat, for those listening, is like one of Pat and my mutual friends. You don't know who she is because you don't know who she is. We're just tangenting.
I love them all, Pat, so I don't think you'll be disappointed. I love them all.
Well, now I've lost respect for Mel.
Wow. It's getting intense on the podcast.
Onyx Storm is a quantifiably terrible book.
I read it so long ago, I actually can't even remember what happens in the last one.
You hated it. I'll tell you right now, you hated it. Now we can be friends again.
I can't remember. I actually can't remember. Maybe I do kind of block it out like you were saying, Penny. When I'm done with it, I'm done with it.
I wish I could block that one out.
Maybe it's like having kids. You just block out the bad part and then have another one.
I thought you were going to say you block out the bad one because you've got 3 kids, and I was like, which kid are you pretending doesn't exist?
But isn't that literally what you do? You block out like the labor and go, oh, I'm going to have another one. Like.
Otherwise, everyone would only have one, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, that's a like an actual thing that they've studied, that women genuinely forget the pain of labor, and it might be like an evolutionary psychology thing, so that we continue making more babies. Because otherwise, if everyone remembered the pain, you never would.
Yeah, I don't think you'd do it again. Well, we obviously do, but
I don't know about Ant for you, Mel, but Stephen remembers clearly, and he was like astounded that I was like, yeah, let's have another one. He was like, that torment, like that. Scared the bejeebus out of him. He was like, oh my God, that's the most horrific thing I've ever seen. So
maybe we do have a bit of that block it out, move on. I mean,
yeah.
Well, we'll be interested to see if you like it, Pat, or compare book 1 and 2. So now you have to read book 2.
When I get there eventually. I'm only 72%, which I suppose is further than I thought I'd be. So
Yeah, when you said you hadn't read it, I was like, nah, because then we couldn't talk about it. But being some way through is
That's
great.
like way over halfway. Like I was working out, I must be maybe like 60 or 50, between 50 and 60% through the Duchess. So I'm like, that's like 70. That's a good effort. Like you're over the hump. You're like so close.
yeah, I only stopped because, like I said, it was the spicy scene, and then my husband was right there, and I know he gets really awkward about that kind of thing. So I was like, all right, we're gonna like pause it now, and then we'll come back to it. And then I got distracted. So as I do. I mean, I never get distracted. Who does that?
Never noticed you being distracted, Pat.
Makes you guys choose a book? Is it like, I know, Penny, you said like if it's popular, so if other people are talking about it, or is it like, yeah, what makes you pick a book to read or a series to read?
The cover, like it's got to be pretty, and especially if like the ends are like, what do they call it, like colored, the foiling or something. Like if it's like really pretty, I will pick it up straight away. Like I saw this one at Paper Plus or something, and it's like the cat scratching on the door. It's like pink with like a black like ombre with like, I think it had like dragon stencils, or I can't even remember. And I was like, oh my God, I just have to buy that book because it's pretty. I read the back of it and I was like, it's pretty average. But I didn't end up buying it, but it is on my list to like actually go and buy. But yeah, pretty covers.
You want to sell a book to a nail tech, put some foil on the cover.
Like, so pretty.
Mine is cover first, then I'll skim the blurb, and then I will open up to like, not even necessarily specifically the first page, but I need to see the size of the font, which font they chose, and then like skim a paragraph to see the writing style. Like I can't just go cover and blurb and then I'm going to read that. Like I have to know what I'm in for.
I go blurb, cover, and then like the blurb has to be interesting. And then I look at the cover, and then the cover has to be passable. Like if it's horrendous, then I'm not gonna get it. But usually the way I find books now is I go on the dark romance subreddit on Reddit, and I look for, like, people will go, I'm looking for a book with this trope, and then people go and describe books that they think are interesting, and it has to be sufficiently fucked up enough for me to want to read it. So
You're out of all six of us, you're definitely winning Hunger Games. I think Jade's out first.
I think I would accidentally murder, like I would accidentally kill myself in Hunger Games, but I would put in a good effort.
Yeah.
No way, you go to the end. I think it'd be like, I think Jade's out first because, you know, at the start when it's like ready, set, go and they have to run for supplies, she would literally be like, oh, sorry, you go. No, it's okay. Like, she's too nice. So Jade's out. Like, I've already killed her with my backpack. She's dead.
Yeah. I think you would think that and then be giggling on the way out, like,
Like, Pat would be the one to murder Jade, and then like 2 days later, she'd be like, "Oh shit, she was my friend.
which Jade? Yeah.
I probably shouldn't have done that."
Could have made an alliance. Oops, my bad.
Trudy would go far because she does because you're doing vet training, right? Like with animals.
Okay, but
Right?
how do you know that I do it well?
You could like sedate her.
Well, no, but whether or not you do it well, you're more desensitized to sad and
Oh,
gross.
yeah, fair. Yeah. Okay, that's true. I'd be like, oh well, move on.
Yeah, so I reckon you're coming in second behind Pat.
You could sedate us all, Trudy.
Well, I've got to have the medication. I'll be like, what's the effects? Fuck it, don't matter.
The less you know, the better, because then you really mess it up.
Mel stands a good chance because Mama Mel is terrifying.
Unviolent.
And then Moose, though, I don't know Moose well enough to know her ranking, which means she could take it all out. Like, she might
be the one.
I see Moose like hiding up in a tree and like, like.
It's so funny, Mel, because I was literally just thinking like, yeah, I'd be up in a tree the whole time.
Yeah.
But you could jump on people from up in the tree. You could be up there, they don't see you. You have a knife, you jump, you land on their back, and this is why I will survive.
But also, you like hide up there, and no one knows you're there, and you wait for them all to kill each other, and then you're like, haha, suckers.
Yeah, Yeah, didn't they do that in Hunger Games? That was Peter Millark's like strategy. He just he hid himself to look like he was part of the foliage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how'd that work out for him?
Well, he made it through thanks to his girlfriend, so it all worked out. The power of love, the fake love.
I think my only chance would be a solid alliance.
I'm too slow. I mean, I'm violent enough if I can catch you, but chances of me catching you are pretty.
We need to work on our cardio, Mel, you and me.
I would get caught pretty quickly.
I would die from asthma. That's my problem.
Your allergies would get you. You can't see.
Yeah.
That's me. All you have to do is take my glasses and now I'm dead.
Moose just needs to have a cat, and then she'll send the cat my way, and then I'll like die from allergies. Like, so my body has nerfed me.
That's not even true though, because you sleep on my couch with a cat on your head and then you just go like, it's fine, I'll be fine, while you can't breathe. And I'm like, you should take your meds. And you're like,
I'm like suffering, but it's fine. I'm happy. It's fine.
Penny from the future popping in just quickly to remind you that if you want more bookings in Salon, you can join our free marketing workshop, The Client Magnet, at monaco.ac.nz/magnet.
What's everyone reading at the moment? Jade, you're on Akatar. What number?
The last book. I'm probably like, I think I'm up to the 4th chapter.
How are you finding it? Because I struggled with the last one. Like, it was a bit of a grind to finish that one. It's the biggest one.
Oh, is it?
Don't worry, guys. I'm not going to share any spoilers because I know some of you haven't read it. But a lot of people have known I've been reading the series and like, oh my god, are you up to the last book yet? Like, it's so good. Like, the hype was so big. I was like, I have to get through it. I personally found the 4th book, which is the really small one. I hated it. I was like, why? It felt like a plan. I was like, the way book 3 ended, I was like, I feel like you should have just like left it there, because book 5, to my understanding, it's in a different point of view, isn't it? It's Nesta's story, isn't it? Yeah. So I like that. I like how like they've kind of now like finished that, which I don't think book 4 was needed, honestly. If it had been any bigger, I think I would have finished it, to be quite honest. I was really disappointed with it. But yeah, book 5 being in Nesta's point of view, I just think like it's quite cool to see things like from her perspective.
So it's Nesta's point of view, not in the same timeline. It's gone back and now it's retelling it from her point of view?
No.
So it's still in order, but now we swapped her.
Yeah.
Is the Akatar series done now? Or are there going to be more?
No.
Oh.
There's another book coming.
Wonder if it will be I really want a book on Elaine's perspective.
Me too.
Who's Elaine?
Otherwise I'll be disappointed again.
Did you say who's Elaine?
The other sister. That's me too though. During Akatar, every time I say Akatar, people think I mean the whole series, but that's just the first book, right? Like, anyways, during it, I did Who's Elaine like 3 times, but it's it's the sister that's not Nesta.
Yeah, the one that does the gardening, the quiet one.
Okay. So the following books are like from everyone else's perspective. So it's kind of like the Seven Sisters type of deal. No?
Nah, like what? It's like, what's the 4th one? It's the 4th one's like everyone, eh? Like, I'm trying to remember. Like, it's everyone. So the first 3 are, what's her name?
Feyre.
So I can't even remember. I'm like, oh, I know who she is. The first 3 are her, and then the 4th one is like really like you say, like it's not even a book per se. It's just like this little bonus book.
Perspectives, like one chapter's in Feyre, one's in Rhysand's point of view, one's in Cassian's point. I think that's also why I didn't like it. The perspectives were changing, and I'd be like, well, who am I on? Like, whose perspective am I reading from? I get so confused. But
I liked how Fourth Wing, those books, it's always just the last chapter is a different person's point of view. And that's kind of enough for me to be like, okay, I understand the story. Now I get an insight into someone else's point of view. Now we move on with our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get too confused if it swaps and changes. So what's going to be are you going to read the Fourth Wing series next, Jade?
Yeah.
Cool. And Trudi, you're reading The Duchess at the moment.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to read next? What was that series that you just brought? You brought the whole series. What was that?
Oh, so it's for my birthday. I got the Throne of Glass.
Any of you guys read it? No, neither.
No.
No, but I've heard lots about it, along the veins of Akatar.
Yeah. And then, so I've got that. Ah, crikey. So with that one, there is a real like huge debate on what order you should read the books. So there's like two that they reckon that you read. So it's the same timeline, like the same event, but it's different point of view. So they reckon you like read them side by side. And I was like,
Awful.
that is too much maintenance for me. So at book club, one of the ladies was like, oh, you just use like sticky notes and just read a chapter in one book and then one chapter in the other book. And it's exactly the same thing in
Absolutely
different point of
not.
view. So I was like, mate, like what? Like this is actual too much. Like, so I think that's why I've kind of like it's sitting on my dining room table just gathering dust because I'm too scared to like start that. Also because my brain is also like on, you've got assignments due. So if I get sucked into that world, then I'm going to completely and utterly like forget the fact that my assessment's due on the 30th of July. So, that I haven't started.
Well, that's nuts. So do they intend you to read it that way, like read them a chapter at a time or what?
I don't know. Well, no, you don't have to. But they're kind of like, so I've even printed out, I've got my little thing, I've printed it out on what order to read them. And it's actually even got the chapters. Holy guacamole, I didn't even know that. So it tells you like what chapters to read and then for the other book. And so, yeah, so you can like,
That's amazing. That's nuts to me. Like,
Can you not just read it in the order you came out? Like it came out.
well, that's what I thought, but they reckon because you read, so for example, this event, I don't know what it is, happens in, I don't know what book, maybe for argument's sake, book 2, and then it's in the other person's point of view in book 4. By the time you get to book 4, you've completely forgotten what happened in book 2. So that's why they're like, oh, you should read them like side by side, like as a duel or whatever. So I'm like, my head's already in knots, you know?
That's too much pressure for something that we're supposed to be doing for fun, I feel.
I
Yes.
know. I will do it, but I don't know if I'll enjoy it, and I might wait until break at the end of the year before I do
Mhm.
that. So in between, what am I going to read after the Duchess? I don't know. Maybe I should read On Storm.
maybe.
I just want to hear your opinion on it. As long as your opinion is that it sucks. I'm just mad at it because I love the first two so passionately.
Yeah, I really can't remember, but I definitely don't remember thinking, oh, that sucked. And I don't think I said anything to you, Trudy, about it. Like we talk about the book. I don't think I was like, oh, that will suck.
Nah, I think you were just like, oh, yes.
I'm quite easy to please though when it comes to books. Like I'll read.
I talk way more about my books to you, though. I'm like, I've been reading this one and that one.
And then I haven't read it, so I'm like, cool. Anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on. Penny, what's next on your list? Are you going to read the next book in Akatar series?
Yeah, probably, but I have a couple of chapters left on a Jack Reacher that got parked for Akatar, that then because I parked it, I need to go back so I can finish it. And then I might detox with like just a silly chicklet that's sitting in the pile. But my next like proper book will be the second Akatar.
I'm really loving it. It's really cool, I reckon. And I really like the recent character, so I'm like, ooh, yeah, he's cool. I like him.
Yeah, I like the character development of him in the first book.
Yeah, so the second one, well, I'm only like 6 chapters in, but it's a lot. He's in it a lot, so yeah, I'm enjoying it. But I think I will definitely read the whole series. So I don't have anything in mind for after that because it'll probably take me like a year to get through the whole series. I'm pretty slow too because, yeah, I don't get much time. But I think on Kindle too, you don't realize how big the books are because you don't see the actual book. Like I went to the library the other day and I saw the Pa Salt book, the last book in the Seven Sisters series, and it's so massive. I was like, holy, that book's huge. But I didn't realize because it's just on my Kindle screen.
Yeah. I guess a Kindle is also good for people who would find that overwhelming. Like a lot of people, I feel like for me, if I saw a book that was like humongous, I'm like, nah.
I kind of like, you know, on your Kindle, you have your percentage at the bottom. So like, I like have this competition because I like to finish things. So I'm like, ooh, it's like 56% or, you know, like I like keeping a track. And then obviously with like books, like, you know, hardcover or whatever, like I can't finish in the middle of a chapter. It just irks me. So I have to finish the complete chapter. But I
Who
like,
does that? What psychopath?
like, I just like the percentage on the Kindle too. I'm like, ooh, so and I can kind of work out, depending on my reading pace, I suppose, and all that stuff, like how much I've already read. I'm like, okay, cool, I can read X amount, in like 2 hours or something like that. I don't know. I just, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely can get overwhelmed with really thick books,
Yeah.
especially if then you open it and the writing is like tiny. I guess that's a big positive of Kindle is that you can kind of change writing size and font size and
That's a
stuff
good
like that.
point. I've never looked at a book like how Penny was saying too. Like you look at the font and like the sizing of like the print and stuff. Like I don't even look that far. And then when if I buy it, I'm like, oh, it's pretty and okay, I can read this. It's in a good storyline, whatever. Open it and then I'm like, ugh, because it's really little, like tiny little words or huge, really big font. And I'm like, oh well, that's gonna take me like 5 hours and I'll have that done. So yeah, it's interesting. But I think I have heard other people say like how you said, Moose, about changing, the size of the font and stuff on Kindle. I don't faff around with the settings. I'm like, oh, that'll do. I just leave it. But yeah.
Yeah, I make mine smaller if anything. I like it like small and lots on the page.
I think the reason I don't like small in a paper book is because it immediately tells my brain that the book is actually 4 times bigger than it is. It's like how Jade was saying she wouldn't have read that other book if it was any bigger or any longer. Like if I grab a book, I'm like, yes, on initial impression, this is a book of the correct size. And then I open it and it's tiny print. I'm like, nope, you lied to me. You're a bigger book.
So you guys that read like proper books, actual books, Trudi, we already know where Penny stands on this, but do you have a bookmark or do you dog ear it? Do you write notes on your book or do you like it to be in pristine condition?
You do not dog ear the pages.
I absolutely dog ear and I draw and I doodle and I highlight.
Look at Jane gasping.
For the record, that's how people used to interact with books back then. Like you would annotate, you would do marginalia. That's an ancient tradition in how we treat books. So actually, Trudy, you're wrong.
Interact is the right word because, like I said before, you have a relationship with a book. So if you're only taking from it, then you're not adding to the energy of the book. You have to dog earing and making notes and highlighting and stuff is how I'm relationship.
That's how people used to do it. People would write marginalia. They would write little comments in the sides of the books that they're reading, and then they would pass it on because back in the day, you wouldn't be able to have a copy of a book in everyone's house because not everyone was literate. And then people would just pass on the books, and then you would also enjoy the marginalia. So you're being an elitist, Trudy. That's how people used to do it.
I love when I get a secondhand book and it's got notes in it.
Me too. I love learning about the perspective of the person who read before me. It's really nice.
Okay, so yes, okay, they want to do their notes, but I'm sorry, no, get a piece of paper, you lazy bum, and write on it on a piece of paper and slip it into the book. Why are we doing it on there? You're like, it's sacrilege. Like, the book is like the book.
No, because if you dog ear it, then there's always a permanent reminder that there was a reason you liked that page. If you just put a bookmark, which I do, but if you just put a bookmark, when you remove the bookmark, it's gone, or you're going to have 5 million bookmarks. But if you dog ear the page, then you remember this page meant something to me at the time. Why was that important? You go in and then you see that you've written in it, you've highlighted it, whatever. Like you interact with the book. Like, I'm sorry, Trudy, but you're wrong. This is an ancient practice.
I can't.
How does the library feel? Like, I don't know. I know you get books from the library, but are you allowed to dog ear and write in the library books?
I wouldn't do that in a library book because I don't own it. That's not what I do.
I wouldn't write in it, but I would dog ear it.
I wonder if the library would be like, yeah, add your notes. Like, we love that. I wonder if they would have the same point of view as you guys, or if they would
I think they wouldn't like that because it's communal.
I think it's really sweet, in movies where, Gilmore Girls, when, Jess like writes notes in it for Rory, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so romantic. Don't the fuck do that to my book though. Like, okay, it's very romantic and I'm sure, whatever, but no, I would never, like, it would piss me off if I'm reading a book. I want to know in my own head, and I don't know, like how I read it. I don't want your notes. Like, cool, you can talk to me about it. Don't write your shit in the book. I don't know. That's
So
just
funny. I knew
I
this
think
was
you definitely have to go with whatever scheme the person who owns the book. Like, if it's not your book, don't do what you want to do. Do what the person says.
if it's your book then. So Pat, Pat and Penny, if you lent like your book to me and you get it back and I've dog-eared it and written in it, would you be like, oh cool, or would you be like Trudy and be like, what the hell, you need to buy me a new book? Like,
I wouldn't mind.
First of all, I wouldn't lend it to you, because what if you don't give it back and now it's not in its place on the shelf? Not never. I do lend out books sometimes, but I'm so like, this has to come back. Like, I'm anxious about this leaving my house. Second of all,
I remember you saying that last time, because then you were like, now there's a gap and I need it to come
yes,
back.
I would have to rebuy it if you didn't give it back. Second of all, dog earing, absolutely go hard. Note writing, just like ask me first, because like I've got a signed copy of Fourth Wing that I wouldn't lend out anyway, but like I've not written in that. That's a trophy. But like if it's a book that I was like, yes, add to it, I love this idea. Like I just think it would be probably a yes, but I think the thing for me is less about the book and more about respect. Is like, if I lent it to someone and they wrote in it without asking, I'd be like, okay, that's rude. But like, actually, if you were like, hey, I let's do this, like, I'll add stuff, I'd be like, okay, that's fun.
I think I would have given you context first. If it's like, hey, this is a book that we actually need to keep clean. I don't know why I'd have a book like that. But if I did have one, like maybe, I don't know, maybe it's actually my husband's copy of the book, then I'd be like, oh, like, just read it, don't mark it. But if it was mine, I'd probably be like, oh, you can do whatever you want with it. And if it came back with notes, I would probably be really into that, because then I'd be like, what was Mel thinking when she was reading this? Like, that's interesting to me.
I think if I had actual books, I wouldn't mind if people dog-eared it and written it, because I don't see them as trophies. I'm like, once I've read them, then whatever. I would just give them away probably, or yeah. What about you, Moose? Would you write, like if you're going to read Fourth Wing next and you go and buy a copy of it, would you write in it and dog-ear it?
I probably dog-ear it. I probably wouldn't write in it, but that's probably just because I probably wouldn't be making notes anyway. But
I need to write notes. What do you guys actually write notes about? What would you write, Moose? Would you be like, oh, I like this page?
I don't know. Well, the only thing I can really think of is like English things, like, oh, here's the theme of the chapter, or like, but I'm not sure if I would really get that much out of that. So it's kind of interesting to hear that other people are taking notes.
So I do a lot more highlighting than writing, but if it's like a business and marketing book, absolutely, I write all over it, because I'm writing like my ideas that I've just had, and then I will flick back through to get those ideas later. But a couple of times when I have written stuff, it's like I'll highlight it and then like draw a little arrow and write like someone's name. So, or a thing that has happened. And it's because in the moment that I read it, the quote resonated with me and meant something to me. But I know that if I highlight it with no reference, in a year's time, when I've moved on from whatever my personal situation is right now, it's not going to mean the same thing. But I want that like little note of like, this reminded me of Pat, so that then in a year's time, I can be like, that is so interesting, because that is not how I think of Pat anymore. But so now that's even more interesting to me, to be like, look how far we've come, or like,
oh, you're dead to me.
yeah.
But so you're kind of using books as like self-reflection as well as just a story to read?
Yeah, I think so. Like if I'm highlighting stuff in a fiction, then it's because it really like hit me. Like most of my fiction books might only have 3 or 4 things highlighted in them. Some of them have nothing. And it doesn't mean that I didn't like the book, but like I read quite a bit of Jack Reacher as like fluff almost, there's nothing highlighted or written in any of those. Like, nothing has ever been like, oh, yes, I know exactly what you mean. Like, no, that's not a thing. But there's definitely, like, passages in, like, Fourth Wing and stuff where she's waxing lyrical about, like, a conflict, an internal conflict, or the way she feels about Xaden, or something like that. And in the moment, I'll be like, fuck, that is such a good way of thinking about that. And so that gets highlighted. Or, like, oh, that reminds me of this. Or, like, say, for example, this is not specific, this is like made up, but say, for example, like a passage that describes a toxic relationship and it subconsciously reminds me of like an ex or something, I'll highlight it and be like, shit, that is what he was doing. And it like disconnects that romanticizing of that thing and goes like, there's the truth, is actually this was toxic. Like, I want to remember that. I want to flick back through it and see the highlight and be like, shit, that's right, he does suck. Like, it's just little things like that. It really goes in with the whole building a relationship with a book thing, like how Trudi said, like, write it on a piece of paper and slip it in. Like, no, that's, to me, is having two separate things. Like, for me, it really is about like sharing energy with the book in a really, like, I guess in a really woo-woo way, but like when Pat said earlier about having a Kindle in the bath, I was like, if it's a really good book, I would be so in that world that I'd put the Kindle down in the bath.
To be fair, you can put your Kindle in the bath, allegedly, because it's waterproof. Allegedly.
Also, though, disclaimer, if I borrowed a book from someone else, so library books, I'll dog ear them. But like, if I borrowed like someone else's book, oh no, I'm panicked. I'm using a pristine bookmark. I'm not leaving it anywhere that anything can happen to it. Like, I have a lot of respect for other people's like wishes.
I don't want to borrow other people's books because that seems stressful because then I have to return it and then that means I have to read it now. So then it's homework. So I don't want to, like, I'll just buy my own copy. Thank you. Or borrow
I
from the
also
library.
wouldn't borrow someone's book because then I can't add it to the shelf.
Yeah, I don't borrow books either because I know it'll get destroyed in my house with my children and dogs and just like
I'm just the kind of person that just messes things up. So I'm just like, I will not borrow people's things. I will just my own things. The funny thing is, I don't even really highlight or like I don't do a lot of highlighting or dog earing for fiction, I think. But when I do, like it's mostly for nonfiction because I read a lot of that. But for fiction, if I'm highlighting or writing a note about something, it's often to do with the way, like the lessons that characters learn or how they phrase things. Because sometimes characters say things that are just beautiful, and you're just like, wow, I can't believe you said that. That's actually so smart. That sometimes they say really stupid things, and they do that a lot. But I wouldn't highlight that because why do I want to remember the stupidity? So it's more like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she stood up to her mother. Oh, she learned something. And then you're like, it's not just about the romance. It's also like learning about like how the character saw the world. Like, I never actually thought about culture in that perspective. And you want to remember it. And it's kind of like beautiful that it came from a fiction book because people are often like, oh, fiction's just like, it's just, you're not learning from fiction. But actually, you can learn a lot from fiction, even if you're just like not even thinking about metaphors and themes, just from like reading the characters go through their lives and go through situations. There's a lot you can get out of it in terms of like problem solving or like learning about concepts that you never heard about and now you want to go find out, like maybe they mentioned a hobby and you never heard about it before, now you want to do that hobby, and it's just like it inspires you in a way that's like you have to get something out of it that's different from like nonfiction where they just tell you here is the thought that I need you to remember.
Very true. I knew that question would stir up some emotions. Funny.
Getting heated and sorry.
Heated up in here. Right. So Penny and I are going to keep reading the Akatar series. Pat's going to finish Fourth Wing. Trudy's reading
The Duchess. Yeah, it's a period. I don't know. It's a period. I thought it was a period romance. No. So if you actually look up on her website, because I was like, oh, man, I just need to know what's the go. It is England. She is a duchess. Her dad dies, and like in England way back when, the firstborn son would always inherit everything. So the subsequent like siblings, were kind of at the mercy of the older brother. And so she was from a second marriage, so she's his half sister. And he like just throws her out and gives her nothing. So she has to, so she doesn't get anything, and she's never worked or anything like that. So she has to kind of, figure out how she's going to live, because it's not like here, women have no power over there, or back then rather. So she has to they find her a job. They kind of sell her off per se, and she becomes a nanny, having no experience and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of like the journey for her, and she actually does end up, and it does say it on the website, so it's kind of, but not really a spoiler alert. But she ends up deciding to start like a brothel, but like an elite, like, brothel, not just like your standard one. So where like the higher ups come. So I'm at the point now where she is doing that. So when her father knew he was dying, because he's quite elderly, he gave her some money and told her don't tell anyone. And it was, hidden away. So she had this money to set up her future. So she's held on to that money, and now she's using it, investing to, be a madame.
Very cool.
I am invested now. The moment you said brothel, I was like, oh, I love books with sex workers in it. It's just, I find it fascinating.
I would never pick up a book called The Duchess, but now I want to read it.
Yeah, don't listen to the audio on Audible, because it'll drive you nuts.
Okay, note to self. I also, for some reason, I cannot listen to, like, I just struggle with listening to books with a British accent. I really struggle. I struggle to understand what's going on. Give me Australian, American, Kiwi, like even like Indian accent, I'll accept that. But like British, I'm just like, I don't know, it puts me to sleep.
I hate listening to Kiwi or Aussie, and I'm the same with the TV as well, though. Like, I don't know why, but I can't.
I love Kiwi and Aussie. Like I'm happy with that. And I love British accents on TV and in movies, but in an audiobook, I can't. I don't know why.
You can't. Right, Trudy's going to finish The Duchess. Let us know how that goes. And then are you going to start your other series, do you think?
Well, that will depend on how scattered my brain is feeling with study and such. So I'm not sure, but I've been reading a few other like in-betweeners. One was absolute rubbish, but I'm invested in the story. So I kind of wanting to grab the sequels on those ones. So I don't know. We will see. Otherwise, it'll be Onyx Storm. So Onyx Storm, or maybe what? Throne of Glass, Throne of Glass, whatever it is. Got too many. No, yeah, pretty much.
So many books, so little time.
All right, well, you can fill us in next time. And do you think you will read something between now and the next book club, or start?
Yeah, I think I have been convinced that The Fourth Wing might be interesting. So I'd kind of like to find an audiobook version of that and give
Yeah,
it a
I
go.
think you'll like Fourth Wing.
Libby has it, and there are 48 copies in the Auckland Library. I know because I'm still using an old account, even though I'm not in Auckland. It's not.
Cool. Okay, cool. Well, with that done and dusted, before you guys disappear, like our page or follow the podcast so you don't miss the next episode. We'll be back next week. Pat, what are we doing next week?
Next week, we are doing group coaching. We're going to have Brittany join us on the show, and she's going to talk to us about her nail salon business, and we're just going to do some coaching. I'm not sure exactly what she wants to talk about, but it'll be interesting because it's another person who is not us, and we're going to talk about real business things, like specifics, I guess.
Yeah, amazing. Here comes Michael Flatley. Come on in. Show us your dance moves.
I stretched and put my hand down near the ground, and he thought that was an invitation.
I would love an episode of the Salon Success that's just all the shut up dog and like bark, 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 and just like all the bloopers. Like as a 1 minute thing, or like at the start of the episode, I think that would be funny. Like a once a year bloopers.
Right.
I've seen podcasts where they do that.
I tell you what I'm not going to do, and that's pay our editor Ashley to compile a 1 minute reel of Bo barking.
Tappity, tappity, tap. All right. So until then, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube by searching Monaco Nail Academy, or you can follow our salons. Mine is Return to Jungle Nails NZ.
That makes me think it's now called Return to Jungle Nails NZ.
That could be a new page. The Return.
By the time this goes to air, it'll be back to crafting a healthy mouth. Mine is Hard Lacquer NZ.
Mine is Patsitive Beauty.
Mine is Moo Cat Nails.
And I don't have one.
Trudi doesn't have one because she's moving on with her journey in life and she's training.
Right.
There goes Michael Flatley. Be quiet, Michael. We're talking. So yeah, have a great week, and we'll see you guys next time for the next book. What are we calling it? Book club episode where we chat and update on what we've read, and we'll hear everyone's updates then. So yeah, we shall see you guys then. Goodbye.
Happy day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.